Good afternoon. Welcome to day 45 of the series, which means we're 15 days, 16 days. We are 16 days away from Leadville. So if you watched yesterday and watched to the end, you'll remember that I mentioned throughout the next couple of weeks I want to do some more just like sitting down and talking to the camera. And today is gonna be one of those days. Got up this morning in Wyoming, did a 10-mile run on the treadmill and a bike. I started taking some videos during mile 2, at mile 4, and then didn't film anything else for the rest of the day. It was one of those days where, or I guess today's one of those days where I just woke up and wasn't feeling very passionate about filming, about talking, kind of speaking. I didn't have a very good sleep last night, and I think the accumulation of fatigue over the past week and a half here with no rest days has kind of just dimmed my light a little bit in terms of wanting to do this and wanting to present myself in front of a camera. So instead of going through my day today, I'll show you. I'll show you what I've done so far. So got up this morning, did 10 miles. Let's pull some stats up. 10 miles, 1 hour, 16 minutes and 35 seconds, which is a 7:39 minute per mile pace. I kind of just slowly progressed into the run, so periodically upping the mileage or miles per hour. And I set at between 0.5 and 1.5, a comfortable enough grade where it felt good. As soon as I finished the treadmill run, I hopped off, went on the bike, and did half an hour at 114 beats per minute. At some of these hotels, I can't really track wattage. It's not an option for me, but it felt somewhere in like the 180, 190. Again, just quite easy. 114 is my zone 1, so not a huge heart rate stimulus, but just some more additional volume. If you haven't noticed already, I am sitting on my treadmill actually in my lawn chair on a treadmill. So after I finish filming this, I'm going to hop on this treadmill and do some incline hiking for a little bit while I work. The goal for today, let me put my phone down. The goal for today is to talk more about training in general and kind of going through phases. So for everyone who doesn't know me super well on YouTube, I'm a HYROX athlete. I do HYROX, DECA. I've run a couple half marathons. I ran a marathon with my girlfriend, Samantha, 2 years ago. And my main focus for the past 2 years has been HYROX, which is in a convention center, nowhere even close to the mountains usually, and a very different training protocol than what an ultra demands. And for 2 years, that's kind of all I did. This summer, I got an opportunity to do this, and I volunteered as tribute to run the 100-mile at Leadville. And initially was quite scared. I would probably say I was 60-40 in terms of scared and excited, like skewing more to the scared side. But over the past 6 weeks, I've kind of fallen in love with just changing it up. And I'm not going to turn into an ultra runner because of this, I don't think. And it's not forever. But bumping my mileage up from 40 miles a week, now I'm at 92 if you go through the rolling 7-day cycle. It's just been a nice little change. Like, it's been something that I haven't really explored for a handful of years. I've run a 100-kilometer race before in Texas, and I've done one in Saudi Arabia of all places. And another 90-miler in Texas. These are all in 2023, beginning of 2024. But it's been quite nice to change it up. And I think it's important to have those changes, whether it's change in stimulus or change in mental focus. I found it pretty valuable the past 6 weeks. And I think it's gonna make me a better athlete, a better person, a better problem solver because of it. And I hope that come 16 days from now, or I guess 17 days from now, when I am done the Leadville race, hopefully it doesn't break me to a point where I don't want to pursue these kind of off to the side tasks anymore because I've found a lot of value. People often talk about seasons of life, and I'm in a season of life right now with how much traveling I'm doing for work and how much travel I'm doing for racing, where this is a very like selfish period of my life where I'm focusing a lot on me and my goals and my pursuits. And I won't always have that forever, right? At some point we'll get a dog, have kids, get married, and I won't be able to do the things in the volume potentially that I'm doing now without other compromises and other sacrifices. There's always ways to shift around priorities, but this right now seems like the most ideal time, if you want to call it that, for me to do this sort of venturing and figure out different things by myself and test myself and sign up for those crazy races that just like scare you a little bit. And I think Leadville is doing that. Leadville has gotten me to a point where I only had 8 weeks to train, period, beyond HYROX Worlds, and only 7 weeks of those 8 are really training weeks because the 8th one is a taper into the race. And I've had to be pretty structured about it. It's kind of flexed a different training, stimulus, coaching nerve up in my head where I have to be very, very progressive week over week and just take bite-sized portions and not try to jump in and do everything all at once, because I know that's not going to be good for my mental side, for my bodies, for adaptations. Like I need to do some progressive overload and just keep stacking. So a good example is last week. So what are we now? 11 days ago or so, I did that big, huge Hope Pass loop. That was a big day. That was 5 hours on feet, up and over Hope Pass twice. And my legs really felt that. My legs needed some rest, to be quite frank. So instead of chasing vert last week, the week after I did that long weekend, I just chased like flatter volume. I still did some uphills, but mostly it was my quads that needed some reprieve. So I still bumped up in terms of mileage, but actually took a slight regression in time. So even though I'm like a nice curve here on my Strava graph, it's still going up. It was actually less time on feet. I just did less vert. But those are the cool like nuanced things where if you're chasing one stimulus, and I got a great stimulus from that Hope Pass loop, the next week after I kind of changed it up slightly to accommodate how my body was feeling. And those little things I just don't have the experience with when doing HYROX. It's a very different training protocol, like I said. It's very like procedural, step A, step B, step B, step A, B, and C. That's what I should have said the first time. And you're fine tuning, like HYROX has 9 different categories, right? If you include running as one of the stations. Micro adjustments in those stations happen over time progressively, and you can focus on a couple at a time. A lot of it's running, but that's kind of known. I kind of figured out through myself and training with other people and being coached by someone else how I prefer to approach that. The last time I did an ultra run was 2023. Didn't have a fueling plan. The previous longest run I've ever done before that was like 30 miles. Didn't really have a goal. Didn't know what to expect. Like I was very new in terms of the endurance space. So going into Leadville this time, I have a little bit more of a history, something to kind of go back on, like a backlog of previous milestones, previous regressions, previous experience that I can draw on. So I think this is a call to myself and a reminder to myself that over the course of however long I continue pursuing athletics at whatever, if it's on the world class stage or it's just at like at a regional stage, if it's just like me doing stuff for fun on the side on a weekend while I'm juggling all other aspects of life, it's important for me to keep doing this stuff and keep like challenging my mind and my body to do something different and do something that's crazy and fun and exciting and also scary, because that's what I love doing and that's what I want to spend my time doing over the course of the next 2, 5, 10, 20 years, hopefully even more than that. I love to be the 60, 70-year-old person who's still doing just like random stuff and can kick his kids and his grandkids' ass on a random Thursday. So yeah, I think that this block's been good for me. It's been great for resetting it's gonna come, like HYROX is gonna come back in the fold here soon, right? Like I've already had some races popping up on my radar that I have to buy tickets for in the fall that are gonna sell out pretty quickly, right? So I'm already kind of thinking long-term back into that HYROX space, but for this little 2-month window here, it's been a nice little change. And I'm looking forward to, over the course of time in my athletic career and just in my life in general, keep putting my toe in the water and keep trying new things. And if it fails, so be it. I did it, or I tried to do it. And like, that's not, the end result isn't as important as like the lessons I've learned throughout this, and the tired mornings when I haven't wanted to run or haven't wanted to vlog or talk to a camera, like today, for example, this morning. It's just kind of like constant reassurances and lessons that, hey, I committed to doing something, to training, to doing this YouTube series. I'm gonna keep doing it throughout this block, and then also throughout the rest of my life, because it kind of fuels my soul. So with that, a bit of a different video today, but nonetheless, we're still one day closer to Leadville, one day closer to hopefully getting a goal established here. The race, so just a caveat, and I'll mention this in a different video closer to the race, but I think August 14th is when they've set the last possible day for them to decide the actual final course, depending on fire activity. So that'll be coming soon. I'll do a conversation about that, and then getting into an actual goal, and like goal time, and putting it out there and not being scared of failing that goal or adjusting the goal if I need to. But one day closer, 16 days away from Leadville. We'll see you guys tomorrow.